Hey, what's up guys? This is Peter, and I'm going to be doing a video blog today instead of just doing a regular blog. I'm gonna be trying out, having different types of vlogs, doing a video one or doing a written one. But for now, I'll just try with the video one, primarily because I'm a lot better with talking than I am writing, and that's how I usually get my messages across. So today's topic that I'm going to be talking about is improving in Dota 2. And when I say improving in Dota 2, it probably will like hit a lot of people. A lot of people can relate to it. That's what I mean. And I mean, even at the moment, I'm still improving in Dota 2. A lot of people are, and people are at different levels, which is completely fine. And Dota's a really funny game in terms of improving and learning because when you first pick up the game, it seems really intimidating, right? You have a bunch of items, a bunch of skills, and new mechanics to learn, how to play, stuff like that. And once you learn the basics, you learn a couple of the characters and you learn, the items and stuff like that. And you're pretty good at the game. You played a couple hundred games and, you're decent and you think that's it. You think that's like, you might think that's it. That's all there is to learn. And then all of a sudden, it hits you that no, this is not it. This is actually just like the 5% of the game that you learn. There's so much more of this game to learn. It's really insane, but it's pretty awesome at the same time too. I mean, me myself, I'm experiencing this. Um, Even though I've been playing Dota for about, oh, excuse me, I've been playing Dota for about 5, 6 years now. Yeah, 5 or 6 years, safe to say. And I'm still learning. It's kind of weird because you get like a secret door. There's like a secret door in the world of Dota, and at first you won't see it, but once you hit the certain point, you'll see it, and when you open it and you go through it, there's just gonna be this whole other world of like shit that you didn't know about. And it blows your mind away, and it's like learning a whole new game, or it's like learning all over again. And for me, I mean, for some people it could turn them off because they're like, oh shit, there might still be stuff to learn, and this game's really hard to learn and stuff like that. But for me, I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge. I enjoy getting better all the time. And I guess this happened because I started watching a lot more professional games. I started learning strategy, understanding things in a deeper level, and it basically like opened my eyes to show me that there's so much more to this game. And there's different ways to go about becoming a better player. Um, is it's to each his own style, basically. I mean, my style is, I read up on guides, I watch pro players play, I try imitating them for a little bit, learning why they do this, why they do that. And I also ask around, but that's just my way. Some people, I know a lot of people is gonna be reading a lot of um what do you call it, guides online. They're gonna be watching a lot of videos, watching a lot of streams and learning like that too. But I feel like a lot of it comes from experience, and I feel like experience is the best teacher. The more you play, the better you'll get. But there are things though that you have to consider when playing. It's not you can't just mindlessly play and like get better overnight. It's not going to work that way. There are some things you have to strive for when you play in order to get better. There has to be some kind of quota that you have to reach every game or some kind of goal that you want to reach in order to get better. So for mine, it was when I became kind of obsessed with playing a carry role, a one role. I always try to make sure my GPM was high at the end of every game, above 500, above 550, and I would challenge myself to get to that, to get to that quota, to get to those high GPMs or have high amount of CS at least at the end of the game. If I didn't, then I knew I would fail, but then that would just make me want to get back up and try again. So there's those things, just technical things about playing. Um, but there's also other things too. Because Dota is a team game, you're gonna have to, in order to be better, I feel, you're gonna have to learn how to play like a team. It doesn't matter who you're playing with, even in random pubs, I feel like this still applies. Because it's a team game, you're gonna have to learn to be a team player. You're always gonna be running into situations where you have a person that doesn't speak English, a person that doesn't speak at all, a rager, a noob, and you just have to learn how to deal with that. in game without losing control of yourself. You know, once you get mad, you kind of get blinded by your anger and you don't really know what's going on. Then you'll start sucking even more. Then you'll start getting mad that you're sucking and start blaming it on everybody. And that's not the right attitude to go about things at all. You just need to keep calm and work with what you got. That's what I always like to do. I like to work with what I got in situations like that. Say I get like a random person who doesn't speak English, but at least he pings, and he would say go gank something. Well, I guess there's not much you can do since you can't really communicate with him. You might just have to play his way for a bit, even though you might not agree with it. But I say it's a lot better to follow him than let him die by himself because if you guys actually coordinate and maybe do things his way, things might turn out for the better rather than just letting him die alone and calling him a feeder. Then he's just gonna get mad, call you as noobs, and where's that gonna lead? If you have noobs, don't yell at them. Just teach them how to play and stuff like that. So I feel like improving yourself as a person in the game and becoming more of a team player will definitely help you improve with the game. And I think there's just one more thing I want to discuss about improving in terms of personality. You have to develop this one's actually kind of it could go both ways. I feel like learning to be a leader is important too in the world of Dota because there's going to be a lot of things that you have ideas for and people have ideas for and you're going to call different things and sometimes ideas conflicts. They don't work well together and people argue, the team argues and maybe that's where you should step in and be like, maybe we should just do this first and for what's the best, for the best of the team. Or when everybody's lost, you always get those games where around the 35-minute mark, 40-minute mark, and people are just running around, you don't know what to do. And that's kind of where you just have to step in and say, yo, we need a smoke, we need a gank, we need to do this, we need to do that. Get the team back together into one mindset. And when you do that, when you get the team back together in one mindset and you play as a team, then you'll end up doing a lot better. And this in turn, you'll get to see a lot of things. When you become a leader and you command a team, you'll see a lot of things that you won't ever think of seeing before. It's hard to explain unless you have actually done it before. And I mean, I've done it a lot of times where I'm usually the leader of my team because I'm playing with friends and stuff like that, and I know a bit more than them, so I'm the one commanding them, telling them what to do and what to, you know, where to go and stuff like that. And when you do that, you'll be able to see a lot of things that normal people don't see, and you'll have more of an insight into the game, which I think is a pretty cool thing. But you have to be a good people person, I guess, to do that. So I guess that's enough with the how with the learning, I guess, to be a team leader, to be a team player, mechanics and everything like that that you have to go through. But there's also, I guess, emotional things. Yeah, emotional things to that you have to go through when trying to be better at Dota, because you'll have high points where you feel like you're the shit, you know, and you feel like you're the most powerful person out there, and you kind of feel like Dendi or something like that, where you just own every single game and you're doing really, really well. And there's just those days where you're just really off and you feel like, oh my God, fuck this game. This game's so hard. I can't play. I just suck. And then you're just gonna have a losing streak and it's just gonna make you feel like shit and you're not gonna want to play Dota anymore. And that's a barrier that people have. I think it's a mentality barrier that that people have, that people develop when they play Dota, because when you win you feel good, when you lose you don't feel good, and it's just a barrier that you have to get past in order to become better. I mean, yeah, you'll lose, but then learn from your mistakes. Just because you lose doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you wasted all that time. Well, you feel like you wasted all that time and you got nowhere and you still lost the game, but from those games lost, you learn from the mistakes, and I think that's the most valuable thing, right there, is learning from your mistakes. So even though, I lose or something like that, I or my friends lose, I always tell them, look at the bright side. At least we know not to do this next time. Or look at your mistakes. Oh, you were over extending. You shouldn't have gone that build. Maybe you should have done this instead. Maybe the picks were a bit weird. You know, maybe we should have done this in this lane instead of something else. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, but you always can learn from your mistakes, and you'll always gonna improve if you accept the fact that you're gonna lose games. You have to accept the fact that you're gonna lose games in order to get better. Because if you always go into a game expecting that you'll win, then well, uh, you're gonna be disappointed a lot. I go into games, public games at least, thinking I don't expect to win, but I expect to do well for myself. Because if I pull off like a 16-0 and okay, not 16-0 because I lost. 16-5 and like something Shadow Fiend, right? But we still lost. If I owned, then I know I did a good job. So I wasn't I'm not too down about it. And I know it wasn't primarily my fault. I did my job. It was probably something in the team fights, or it's just my teammates that weren't as good that, kind of brought us down. So it's not always your fault. And if it is your fault, then you could kind of, beat yourself up a little bit and learn from it. But don't beat yourself up too much. It's not good for you. I guess that's the emotional things that come with trying to become a better player. The ups and downs of Dota. And I I feel like it's a pretty crazy game to make you think about all this. Well, I mean, to at least make me think about all this because it's just so many things that come with Dota. It's just the emotions with it. Um, it's kind of a little bit like life. I don't know if that's like a really good metaphor comparing a game to life, but I mean, you learn, you fail, you'll succeed. That's what life is. And if you want to get better at life, if you want to get better at something in life, then you have to go through this too. Same, it's same thing with school, same thing with Dota. There's nothing different. This is a game. The other stuff is education. But it's all about playing, learning, and always striving to get better. So that's what keeps me going when I play Dota. That's why I play it so much because I always want to improve and get better. So I guess I could end this vlog by saying, if you want to get better, then don't feel down all the time. Like learn from your mistakes. If you really want to do get better, then be dedicated. Go watch like Merlini play. Learn from what he says. Go read guides. Go watch pro matches and analyze some of that if that's your thing. Whichever way like fits you best in terms of learning Dota, just go ahead and keep on doing that. Keep on practicing. And the most important thing is to have fun while playing. I think because it's a game after all. I mean, games can be taken seriously, but you still have to have fun, and that's the most important thing. So with that, I'm going to end the vlog, and I want to thank I want to thank everybody who's watching the vlog, and I also want to apologize for ranting sometimes because I know sometimes I can't think of words or I repeat a lot of the same words. I promise I'll get better in the future, but yeah, so I apologize and I thank you for